The best advocacy we do for our kids is the kind that uplifts all autistic voices, not just our own. Welcome to the Be Mighty Mom podcast. I'm your host, Ash, mom to an autistic child with a rare disease, boundary setter, and your voice of fierce, honest truth. This isn't just support, it's a movement where we ditch the fluff, get honest about autism and rare disease, and what it really takes to advocate for our kids, especially with family. As moms, we're natural advocates. We now speak up, fight for accommodations, we challenge systems, we call out what's not working, and hold people accountable, thanks to these incredible women that came before us. And we speak out on behalf of our children because sometimes they can't, or because the world won't listen unless we do. But there's a difference between being an advocate and an ally. Being an ally requires something slightly different. An advocate speaks for, an ally creates space so others can speak for themselves. Advocacy uses our voice. Allyship shares the mic. And here's why that matters. Autistic voices have historically been ignored, minimized, or excluded entirely from the conversations that shape their lives. Allyship is about flipping the dynamic. It's about listening more than speaking. It's about being willing to change even when it's uncomfortable. It's about recognizing that our role as parents of autistic children is not to be the voice of autism. While it's important to advocate and bring awareness, but it's to help amplify the voices within the autistic community. Let's talk about the numbers. According to a 2020 study published in Autism and Adulthood, only 14% of autism-related research includes meaningful input from autistic people. Only 14%. That means decisions about policies, therapies, interventions, even how autism is defined, are still being made without the people who live it every single day. Imagine researching women's health without talking to women. Imagine designing disability access without consulting disabled people. It sounds absurd, right? But that's exactly what happens in the space made for autistic people far too often. This lack of inclusion leads to serious consequences, like therapies that suppress autistic traits, schools that punish stimming, and supports that are built for neurotypical comfort, not autistic well-being. The good news, there are organizations that do it differently. The Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, or ASAN, is one of them. It's run by autistic people for autistic people. Their motto is, nothing about us without us. They advocate for accessible healthcare, inclusive education, human rights, and better public policy. When we support organizations like ASAN, we're not just helping the cause. We're saying your voice matters, your experience is valid, and we're listening. If you ever wished your family just understood autism a little bit better, this is for you. I created a free resource called Dear Family, a compassionate guide to helping loved ones understand autism. It's simple, kind, and packed with what most people never get taught, like how autism is a neurotype, not a behavior problem, and how to have better conversations with family who might not get it yet. You can download it for free right now at BeMightyMom.com/resources. That's BeMightyMom.com/resources. It's time to stop explaining everything alone and start getting the support you deserve. So let's talk about how this actually shows up in real life. Because allyship isn't just about what you believe, it's about what you do. Here's what allyship might look like in everyday parenting and advocacy. First, correcting misinformation. When someone says, but he doesn't look autistic, or aren't we all a little on the spectrum? We step in. Kindly, confidently, clearly. We might say, actually, autism doesn't have a look. It's a neurotype, not a checklist of visible traits. Or, that comment might sound harmless, but it can be really dismissive of the very real challenges autistic people face. Second, checking our language. Terms like high functioning or mild autism can reinforce dangerous ideas. Autistic people have told us over and over that functioning labels erase nuance and overlook support needs. We can shift our language to be more respectful. Say things like non-speaking, high support needs, or simply autistic. It might feel awkward at first, but awkward is okay. Harm is not. Third, making space. That means creating platforms where autistic voices are centered without our filter. It might look like sharing a blog post written by an autistic person without adding our own opinions to it, or recommending an autistic-led resource to another parent, or staying quiet when it's not our turn to speak. That kind of humility, it's powerful. Let's bring this back to our children, because this is where it gets personal. Allyship isn't just about being good people. It's about creating a future where our children feel safe showing up as themselves. When we model true inclusion, when we invite in autistic voices, when we listen, when we stand up for others, it sends a message, a deep identity shaping message. You belong, and you don't have to change who you are to be respected. We want our kids to be included, right? In classrooms, on playgrounds, in family gatherings, at church. But inclusion doesn't start with policies. It starts with us. Now that we know how to speak, we have to speak and let others speak too. We can't expect others to include our children if we're not actively including others too. And I mean everyone. That includes how we interact with autistic adults. It includes how we respond when someone corrects us. It includes how we treat friends, strangers, and yes, even our own extended family. Sometimes the hardest place to practice allyship is in the places closest to home. It's when a family member makes a dismissive comment and we have to decide whether to let it slide or lovingly address it. It's when someone says, "You're just being overprotective," and we hold our boundary anyway. It's when we invite people into our circle who think and communicate differently, and we value them without trying to change them. Because if we don't model inclusion, who will? A 2022 study published in Autism Research found that autistic children whose caregivers embraced a neurodiversity affirming parenting style, one grounded in acceptance, showed higher self-esteem, lower anxiety, and greater self-advocacy skills over time. The researchers noted that parental beliefs about autism deeply influenced how children saw themselves. What that means is simple but powerful. When we stop trying to fix our children and start fully accepting them, we give them the foundation to love themselves, advocate for themselves, and stand proudly in who they are. That's what allyship makes possible. Being a mom advocate is brave work. Being an ally on top of that, that takes courage, humility, and a whole lot of unlearning. We're going to mess up. We're going to get called out. But if we lead with love and listen with openness, we'll grow into the kind of advocates our kids need and the community needs. So here's your challenge. Support a resource or post created by an autistic adult without changing it or rephrasing it. Just share it and let it speak for itself. Notice how you speak about autism around others, especially in front of your kids. Are your words rooted in pride or pity? And most importantly, ask yourself this: am I holding the mic too tightly in this conversation? What would it look like if I passed it? Because when we rise, listen, and support one another, we create the world our children deserve to grow up in. not a world that simply tolerates them, but one that celebrates them. Thanks for being here. Keep being fierce, keep being bold, keep speaking up, and also be quiet sometimes. Until next time, stay kind, stay mighty. Bye.